The grand chamber of the Galactic Council was built to impress. Tall pillars of silver-blue stone reached for the ceiling like frozen waterfalls. Glowing panels floated above the central table, displaying star maps and flashing lines of data. Dozens of alien species filled the curved benches, their voices blending into a steady roar. At the far end of the room, 5 humans stood up. They were not loud. They did not argue. They did not shout. Their leader, Ambassador Lena Rowe, pressed a single button on her wrist pad. The holographic emblem of Earth, a pale blue sphere wrapped in silver rings, flickered once and vanished. One by one, the human delegation powered down their translation devices, folded their tablets, and turned to leave. No one expected it. The noise in the chamber died almost at once. Alien representatives stared, whispering to each other in confused tones. "Are they leaving?" hissed a tall winged delegate from the Corthan Republic. "They cannot," replied a voice from the council's inner ring. "They must not," but they did. Lena Rowe walked at the front, her steps steady, boots tapping softly on the glass floor. Behind her, Commander Malik and Dr. Hana Ito followed with the quiet grace of people who had made a decision long ago. No threats, no demands, no desperate last-minute plea, just silence. The council speaker, a massive creature with 4 eyes and a deep purple shell, slammed a claw down on the table. "Humans, explain yourselves," it demanded. Lena paused just long enough to glance over her shoulder. Her voice was calm and even. "We already did. For years." Then she left. The chamber exploded into noise again. Voices rose from every corner. Some shouted insults. Others begged for explanations. A few laughed nervously, thinking it was all some kind of show. But the humans did not come back. They were gone. The Galactic Council had dismissed human concerns for years. When human analysts warned that the Dravari swarm, a hostile empire at the edge of known space, was expanding too fast to be ignored, the Council labeled it human paranoia. When Earth offered to strengthen border defenses and coordinate fleets, the Council voted against it. Warmongers, some called them. Upstart primates, said others. The Council believed their ancient alliances were enough. They believed no threat could break their centuries-old peace. They believed they did not need humanity. They were wrong. 3 days after the humans walked out, the cracks began to show. The first problem was trade. Human merchants, known for their fast and reliable convoys, simply stopped arriving. Supply stations that depended on Earth's logistical systems were suddenly left with empty docks. Entire worlds realized, too late, that most of their spare parts came from human factories. Then came the patrols. For decades, human fleets had quietly patrolled neutral routes, not because they had to, but because they were good at it. Human captains didn't ask for credit. They simply kept the lanes safe. When the fleets withdrew, pirates and raiders saw their chance. Small at first. A few stolen shipments here, a missing freighter there. But within a week, chaos spread like cracks in glass. Council members began sending messages to Earth. Some were polite. Some were angry. None received an answer. The humans weren't listening anymore. On the 10th day, Council Session 472A was called in panic. "This is temporary," said the Corthan representative, trying to sound confident. "They will come back. They must." "Do not be so sure," replied the thin, silver-skinned envoy of the Shailan Union. "Humans are unpredictable. But when they decide to move, they do not hesitate. They need us," someone argued. But deep inside, everyone in that room knew it wasn't true. It was the Council that needed them. Far away from the Council, in the orbit of Earth, the Sol Defense Fleet assembled. 1,000 ships formed long, silent lines above the blue planet. Some were massive dreadnoughts, their armor black and gleaming. Others were fast, agile frigates that could outrun most alien cruisers. At the center of it all was ISS Horizon, the flagship. On the bridge, Admiral Kai Morgan watched the fleet status reports with a calm face. His officers worked with quiet precision. "Status?" he asked. "All fleets are home, sir. All trade lanes secured. External diplomatic channels. Muted, not closed. Not destroyed, just silent." The humans had not declared war. They had not threatened retaliation. They had simply left. The Galactic Council tried to patch the gaps. They sent patrols to the hyperlanes. They hired mercenary fleets to protect convoys. They pushed old starships out of storage. But nothing worked as smoothly as the humans had made it work. Their ships were slower. Their fleets were less disciplined. Their supply chains tangled like broken wires. For the first time in decades, the galaxy felt fragile. Even their technology began to fail, quietly, without ceremony. Human engineers had supported thousands of systems across the Council's infrastructure. They had been the hidden mechanics behind countless star stations. Now those systems blinked red. On the border, the Dravari swarm was moving. No one noticed at first. They were used to seeing their fleets pacing the border like hungry wolves. But when the swarm began pushing into neutral zones, no human patrol was there to stop them. The Council scrambled to respond. A meeting was called. But this time the chamber felt colder. "We can handle this," said the speaker. No one looked convinced. "They will not attack us." "Not us, yo," said another. But deep down they all remembered the human warnings. The humans had shown them the data. They had mapped the swarm's expansion paths. They had predicted the exact timeline, and the Council had laughed. Lena Rose stood on the balcony of the Earth Embassy on Luna, watching the stars above. The silence of space was peaceful. She felt no guilt. Her people had done everything they could. They had tried diplomacy, warnings, and cooperation. But respect is not given to those who beg. It is earned by those who walk away when they are ignored. "Do you think they'll call us?" Commander Malik asked, standing beside her. "They already have," Lena said quietly. "We're just not answering." Malik gave a small smile. "Feels strange. We've always been the ones chasing them, trying to prove ourselves." "Not anymore," Lena replied. "Now they'll see what we were worth." Back at the Council, panic spread. Trade routes collapsed. Outer colonies pleaded for help. Even powerful member species began to realize how much they depended on human stability. The Council had thought of humanity as a noisy young species. A useful tool, a convenient workforce, but humanity had grown into something else, a quiet, reliable pillar holding up their world, and now that pillar was gone. 3 weeks after the human withdrawal, the first swarm attack hit Velith Station, a key border hub. The defense fleet was weak, outdated, and unprepared. The swarm ships cut through them like knives through paper. Within 4 hours, Velith Station fell. Thousands fled, but many more didn't make it. The Council chamber fell into chaos. "They've taken the Velith corridor. They're moving fast, too fast." "Where are the human fleets?" "They're home." For the first time, no one insulted them. No one mocked. No one rolled their eyes. On Earth, the message came. The Council speaker, once proud and untouchable, bowed his head in the hollow feed. "We miscalculated," he said slowly. "We underestimated you." Lena Rose stood in the middle of the Earth Command Hall, surrounded by admirals, diplomats, and engineers. Her face was calm like the rest of humanity. "We know," she answered simply. "We ask for your help." "You didn't want our help before," Admiral Morgan said from the corner. The speaker's voice trembled. "We were wrong." Humans did not rush to answer. For days, the Council begged. One by one, member species joined the plea. They offered alliances, trade rights, influence. They finally spoke to humanity as equals, not servants. When the humans finally responded, their message was clear and calm. "We will help, but not as tools, not as your shield. We return as equals, or not at all." The galaxy listened, and this time they heard.